Thank you for joining us tonight on 14 News at 6. I'm Chellsie Parker. Tonight we are following two breaking news stories, so let's head out to our first situation here in Evansville. Aria Janelle is joining us live from where a plane crashed earlier today. So Aria, how is that scene looking at this time?
Well, Jackie, right now we are at the corner of Fulton and Fountain here in Evansville. And as you can see, this is a very active situation. I'm counting at least 10 EPD cars. Well, Randy, you can see how this is not only an arson investigation, but it's an absolute danger to children in this area. Jackie, I can truly without a doubt tell you there is absolutely nothing like what I experienced up there high in the skies today. I'm going to be pretty honest with you guys. I was absolutely terrified to go up there, but it was important for me to give the viewers a look at what it's like to be a part of the Shriner Fest Air Show. But these hot temperatures make it even more difficult for them to do their jobs. And just as they wrapped up putting out this fire here, another fire happened just down the road. Well, Jackie and Randy, it really was a day to experience firsthand on this ship the history of this ship. I spoke to several veterans today. It was a loss the city wasn't expecting, and now where a building once stood is now ash and scrapped metal. Friday After 5 has been happening here on the Owensboro riverfront for more than 2 decades, and officials tell me it's not slowing down anytime soon.
I met with this man behind this act and the woman that took the video, and what we found is there's so much more to Frank West than what people realize.
Weather permitting, you run 6 days a week, some will run 7.
Jim Draghi is a Posey County native farmer. He's farmed on this land for nearly 50 years.
Hey Tim, you mind pulling the grain cart up here? I started farming, I guess you might say, a little bit while I was in high school, and continued afterwards, and were able to expand the farm some after my tour with Uncle Sam, and been doing it ever since.
Draghi says farming runs in his blood and that of his family's, but in March of 2016, Jim and his brother Paul experienced what was nearly a tragic grain bin accident.
I was only in up to about here on that, but you can't get out, and it happened in a matter of seconds.
In March, Jim says he was working at the grain bin on their family farm when he got stuck. It was something that prompted Jim and his brother Paul to share their story in a video for farmers across the country.
We started unloading the bin and had about 150 bushels come out of it or something like that.
Draghi went into that bin when he realized something was wrong. He says in a matter of seconds, everything changed. Thankfully, because Jim's brother and a friend were there, Jim was saved by local firefighters thanks to this rescue tube.
It simply was a matter of me not taking that moment to stop and think. We all get engaged in what we're doing and forget sometimes that this is a hazardous business.
Jim knows he was lucky, but the same cannot be said for the other 34 people who died in farming-related incidents in 2018. One of them was Jim's brother Paul.
2018, Paul Draghi gets into a grain bin, does not come out. Still thinking maybe heart attack while in there or heat exhaustion. It was a day in the 90s in June. Posey County gets another heart.
Since 1980, there have been more than 1,000 farm-related deaths across Indiana. Here in southern Indiana, more than 60. A map lays out each life lost in the form of hearts, but there's so much more behind each heart on that map.
Hans Schmitz is the Purdue Cooperative Extension Director. He says the Draghi brothers' story is hard to talk about, but it's these stories that are bringing awareness to a continual issue in the farming community.
It's a family destroyed for a time. It's a shockwave to a community. It's a farm gone. In some cases, it's a farm that looks radically different.
On that map with those hearts, you can see Posey County has had 9 deaths since the 1980s. Vanderburgh had 7, 12 in Gibson, 11 in Spencer, and 23 deaths happening in Du Bois County.
If you just look at the last decade, there's been a slight uptick in fatalities the last 3 years or so.
Draghi says a lot has changed in the farming industry in the last 20 to 30 years. But even with those advancements in technology, accidents still happen.
I mean, bins are a problem, have been already in the past and continue to be. And again, it's just a matter of stop and recognizing and thinking. It's hard to do, but it's need to be done.